There we go.
There we go.
I love the red flower off your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So I got a little friend here. I've got a cute little dog. Booty, come and say hi to my friends. Come on, Booty, come. Come.
Oh, yay.
This is Booty.
Oh.
He's a friend. He's lovely. He loves to. Hi, my love. He's the smartest little dog, aren't you, Booty?
Oh, he's giving you kisses.
Oh,
Hello.
you're such a good
Hi,
boy.
baby.
Good morning, everybody. This is Booty. This is Booty.
He's so cute. Hey, Booty. He's so adorable. Look at that face.
I know, he's adorable. He's the smartest dog. Okay, I know you want to go off and play. Yeah. All right, so then hi to everybody. Welcome.
Hey.
I did my hair this morning. It does not look like I did, and already this New York weather, the fuzz of the frizz. Oh my goodness. I have a great haircut. Thank goodness it's short and amazing from Rosemary, but the weather, the humidity. So welcome to my garden. I just wanted to show you my garden today. I've been working really hard in my garden, so I just wanted you to see how pretty it is. So I love being scruffy and dirty and getting my hands in the soil and just planting as many flowers as I can. So today, what's our subject?
Well, we were speaking into, obviously, I lost my train of thought, building your primary clientele. But we also wanted to talk a little bit about the designer program, because, I mean, these are just such strong components of building your career, your lifestyle, and building you as an individual. So we can take it from what I love is we have some hello from Las Vegas. Wow, Las Vegas. Woohoo.
Oh, you're up early.
Yeah, and the Great Pacific Northwest, Butair.
Hi.
I'm sorry if I say
Buta, where are you from? Oh, the Great Pacific Northwest as well.
Yeah,
all these people up early. What happened to our New Yorkers?
They're still getting their coffee, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about Las Vegas is that as hot as it is, it's dry. It's a dry heat. In fact, Carol, I'm just deciding whether I should go to Las Vegas in August because it's the North American Hairdressing Awards. So I'm just deciding, do I want to jump on a plane? I'm nominated for 2 awards, so I'd love to be there, but I don't know. I'm flying for the first time this weekend to California, and I'm so excited to go and see this wonderful lady, Barbara, and be in her salon. It's my first event in almost 2 years, which is scary. But just the thought of getting on a plane, and I am the girl that was on a plane every week. I've flown around the world 3 times. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been apprehensive. But anyway, that's my fear. Let's get that out of the way and let's get into a really good subject. We're talking about the point of difference. And we were talking about it on Instagram before we kind of moved to this platform. And she's saying it's awful this year. Carol, what should I do? Come in an incubator. I'll come in the fridge. I cut a hole out. Heat has been unbearable. Even though it's dry heat. Oh gosh, it's tough. Yeah, it's very tough. So we're talking about your point of difference. Right. And, we were speaking about how the consultation is always the gatekeeper of our business. And sometimes we are, the consultation, but it's so important because it determines the choices and your level of awareness and your level of, how you select that style is imperative because it either elevates where you're going or it does the reverse.
Right.
If you're standing still in your career, that means you're actually moving backwards. So it's always about that elevation, isn't it? That elevation of experience that is so important. So if you haven't got this already, I did mention it last week. We've got our 7 reasons for basically why you may not have built the dream clientele that you want. And if you want this PDF, you can get it from the link down below and check that out. And it's part of our course, Who is Sitting in Your Chair? And it's really an amazing course because it takes you on this journey from how you build your brand. What is your brand? What is a brand that you want to live, that you can live? So it has to go beyond a trend because trends will come and go, but it has to really live beyond that. The second thing is when you look at somebody, do you know how to make them look more beautiful? by designing to their face shape. Can you read a face shape? The next thing is when we're looking at somebody, how do we get around some of the awkward questions? Like, how do we know how to make it boyish or sensual? How do we know how to make it quiet or loud? How do we know where she should live in fashion? Because that's going inside the head before you go outside of the head. So all of these points we take you through bit by bit, and that makes a point of difference. Anyone who's done the course, who is sitting in your chair, has come back to me and said, Viv, my clientele totally changed. I have buy-in more than ever before. I've been able to increase my prices, which is amazing. And so those are exciting things. For you, Rosemary, I know you put so much intention around what you do every day. What would you say is your point of difference in being as successful as you are, being fully booked the way that you are, being highly in demand? What is it that was your game changer?
Well, before I start answering that question, Carol says you should go because she'll be there. And she agrees consultation is key. And if you can just, before I answer your question, if you can just state where you get the information again, just because. Yes.
This is the 7 reasons why you may not have built your dream clientele. And it goes over some 7 very important points. And if you check down here in Facebook, we'll put a link there. And we'll just make sure that you've got that information. So it's here on Facebook. The actual link is here. And if you can't find it, we will try and post it to the top after this call. But if you can't find it, just DM us on Instagram and just say gift. And we will send this to you.
Yes.
We'll send it to you.
Yeah. So my point of difference is listening. My point of difference is listening beyond the words of saying what I want to do. I like to sit and find out and understand that individual and develop a rapport that is credible enough that they know I can try it, but also be humble enough and vulnerable enough for the courage to ask the right questions. And understand that if I don't understand something, or if I'm not familiar with something, I may play it a little safe, plant the seed so that the next time I become more fully aware and fully equipped. Because my goal is to create a relationship that goes beyond the technical. I want to be able to impact them from the inside out, because beauty comes from within, right? You emulate, it's the environments that you're around. It's the feeling that you have, right? Because if you can see it, and what I loved is when you and I were at a show and there was a language barrier, we were in Dominican Republic, and you were standing there looking at these ladies that didn't speak a stitch of English. I think hello was probably the largest word that they knew in English, aside from hola. And you standing there and looking at them and having a conversation and having the interpreter and being so intentional in your slowdown of your conversation to connect with that person. And you just saw the energy of this woman change when you just started to realize by the dynamic and how she carried herself. And you were able to have that consultation without verbally even saying all the words. You just said maybe one word, that word. And that's what I strive to accomplish.
Well, it was an amazing experience, and I think it's worth taking a deeper dive because you were there to witness it. Yes, Rosemary just said we had a language barrier. But were there 12 models, Rosemary?
I felt like there was like 55, but yeah, I think it was 12 at that one specific.
I think it was 12. So when you're doing a show of this nature, time is of the essence, because the models are very expensive for the day. You've got to have their hair cut, their color, their wardrobe fitting, their makeup, the test for the makeup, rehearse them, a tech rehearsal. So everyone wants them, and then there are people that want all 5 because they're in one scene. So it's like, well, no, she's got to get her hair colored and all this stuff. And it's like, well, which section she's going to be in? It's like, I don't know. I haven't spoken to any of these girls. And then I can't find the translator. So time is really of the essence. So I lined all these girls up, and it was the first time I really put these principles to the test, because I had a language barrier. Now, the man who I was working with did not know the hair industry, but he could speak fluent English and obviously fluent Spanish. So I looked at the girls, first of all, through these 3 wheels, and I speak about it a lot. And it's been a game changer for me in my career, because let me go back before I go forwards. My training, and I say it in a proud way, to not impress you, but impress upon you the magnitude of the people in my life. When I trained at Sassoon's in London and became an art director there, I was around amazing, amazing talent, amazing talent. So, shame on me if some of that could not rub off and I could not learn to be a good hairdresser. And I learned how to be a good technical hairdresser. I went to Trevor Sorbie. Some of the greatest hairdressers in the world have come from Trevor Sorbie. I've been around incredible hairdressers my entire life with intention because I'm very average and I want to be really good. I just want to be good at what I do. I want a beautiful garden, not an average garden. I want a beautiful home, not an average home. I just love beauty. I love beauty. I love what it is. So I had this incredible background of technique, and I either created a trend, followed a trend, and was obsessed about the technique. Now, did it suit the person's face? Well, sometimes no. Did it suit their personality? Sometimes no. That wasn't my consideration. I was obsessed with technique. All these years passed by and I started to think, okay, how do I change my game? How do I take it to another place? And it was really put to the test in the Dominican Republic with 12 girls standing in a line. And this is what happened. It was fascinating. I went through my 3 wheels. So the first thing I thought of was how quiet or loud should this person's style be? That was the first thing. Then the next thing, it was like, where does she live in fashion? Is she rock and roll, bohemian? Is she eclectic? Then the next thing I looked at, is she sensual? Is she romantic? What is she like in that regard? So I was looking at her through the eyes of loud rock and roll, boyish rock and roll, or glamorous rock and roll, sexy rock and roll, bohemian. Is she bohemian and where does she live there? So first of all, I looked at these 3 wheels, and as I spoke to each girl, if she was bold and big, I elevated my voice in pitch. Not that she could understand anything I was saying because she didn't speak English, but I would say it was going to be bold, it's going to be strong. She could feel energy. Yeah. And when it was like this little wallflower was there, it was like, well, it's going to be soft, it's going to be romantic. So I had the translator say the look that I feel that I want to get is going to be quiet or loud, where it lives in fashion and where it lives with sensuality. And I saw them flourish. I saw them like, oh, you understand me. Yep. Hadn't talked about hair color, hadn't talked about technique. Then the next thing I spoke about was, okay, well, your face shape is, I'd like to slim you here. I'd like to lift you here, just face. I was like, wow, wow, wow. And then I would say an approximate length of hair. Are you comfortable here? Are you comfortable here? Because I'd already got the first 4 buy-ins, quiet or loud, fashion, sensuality, face shape. So now I'm talking technique. I'm now talking hair. It's the last thing versus, well, I'd like to cut your hair short. Oh, no, don't cut it short. Don't run. When that show, so I went through that line so fast, didn't I? I mean, I went through that line in 10 minutes. That's 12 people in 10 minutes. And I wrote down what those qualities were just on a piece of paper. Then I said, when I sit you in front of my chair, in front of the mirror, I will then explain exactly what I think is the best thing for you. So make sure you're comfortable. They already trusted me. I hadn't even talked about how short or long it was going to be, really. I hadn't gone into detail. I hadn't even gone into detail with the color, but I stayed within the parameter of where it fitted, and that was a success. So that information, if you want to learn that, is in Who is Sitting in Your Chair. And it is such a powerful course. So again, we'll put the link below, and you can see where that is on our website.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that, guys, unfortunately you weren't there to see it, but I saw it. I mean, you just saw their body language just totally just transform, which is so important. And I think a lot of times as stylists, as you know, Vivian, with all the people that you have trained, the limiting statements that we put before ourselves.
Yes.
And we sell ourselves on what we can't do before we can sell ourselves on what we can do. So can we speak into that? Because you talk about that in this PDF that you have.
Well, I think that the can'ts, words have so much power. And Rosemary is a coach for John Maxwell. She's a certified coach. And if you don't know who John Maxwell is, he's probably one of the greatest leadership experts in the world. He's written, I don't know, probably 75 plus books, New York Times bestseller, an amazing human being. And Rosemary has been a coach with him for quite some time. So she understands the power of a word. But a word has energy. And with that, behind that energy is an energy of I can or an energy of I can't. And when we keep telling ourselves, I can't do it, even subconsciously, I can't do it, and setting ourselves up for that I can't, it's amazing how we manifest the I can't. So, we have to be open-minded. We have to be open to possibilities, and we have to constantly, I know I have to all the time, check my language to say, oh, I just said I can't do that. Or, oh, I just said, oh, I'm so tired. It's like, no, don't keep saying that, because your body's going to oblige and it will honor and it will be tired for you.
Yeah.
I think the most amazing thing, Ed Smith, he's a gentleman I'm training with right now, and it's an amazing course. And he said to me, imagine getting on the treadmill and running and saying, I can't. And then he said, now go back on the treadmill and say, I can.
Yeah.
So when you're tired and you've got one more person to do, when you're tired and you've got a really thick head of hair to blow dry, the I can't will debilitate you. The I can will empower you, and you'll find an energy there that you didn't know was there. So my challenge to you, Carol, today, and our other friends who are here on Facebook, is to actually start looking at your cans and your can'ts. What does that mean for you, Rosemary?
Well, I think when you put yourself in an I can, it empowers you to be excited, because it's like all of a sudden it magnifies and it remembers why you signed up into this industry in the first place. What caused you to come in. When you put your can'ts in front of you, first of all, it limits your repertoire. It limits your possibilities. And then clients lose confidence in you. Because nobody wants to hear they can't.
No.
Or the reasons why. If you feel uncomfortable about something, or if you feel that you haven't had enough expertise around it, again, ask those people who are better at it. And you say, you know what? Let's introduce a small amount of it and try it. Because, if you're skilled enough with the techniques that Vivian shares with you in regards to her programs and her courses, that will give you the opportunity to at least have that foundation to build upon and build upon and build upon, and like a layered learning, right? So when you have that dynamics of learning more and and strive. So the I can't makes you feel defeated, because you feel like you've almost feels like a failure.
Well, yes. And Carol, you make a point to that, and I agree. And Stephen, hi, great to see you here today. I think that one of the greatest senses of relief I had was when I took the focus away from myself and I put the whole focus on who's sitting in the chair. Because as you become more successful, people have these sometimes unrealistic expectations of what you can do. And when I show up, it's not here I am, it's there you are. And if I don't know, then the most smart thing I can do is find someone who does know. And it's totally okay to say, I don't know the answer to that, but I think I'll find out. I'm a student of life. I'm learning, I'm reinventing, I'm growing. Vulnerability is powerful if you manage it well, because vulnerability is saying, I'm open to learn. I'm curious about life. I will explore life. I will discover. It's looking at all of that stuff, and it's saying, I'm open. I'm open. I'm willing. And there's such a wonderful vulnerableness there. Think about children when they're very young and they're just running around, egoless. And there's something so endearing. There's no guard up. There's no pretense. There is a vulnerability. Yeah. There's a curiosity. Why? I want, we need that. I think that the highly creative people never lost that. And I think we should have a conversation in career conversations about the creative process. I think that would be a really fascinating thing for people to understand. I've studied the creative process my entire career. I've studied success my entire career. I'm a student of trying to learn. I'm right now going through a year's program studying and very humbled by it. And I keep reminding myself, how teachable am I? How vulnerable am I prepared to be? And as I fail in my new learning, which I will, how quickly can I get up and be resilient? And how quickly can I fail forward? Because failure is part of the learn. If I do what I know and I keep doing what I know, I will not grow and evolve. I have to be able to try something different and new, which is what I'm doing right now. And, sometimes you just need to throw yourself out there incomplete, right? And I know in our world that can be a little scary because it's a human being. But, you have to take measured risks. Sometimes it's a measured risk, and you always have to have an exit strategy that if this color doesn't work, there is an exit strategy. If this haircut doesn't work, there is an exit strategy, because, you're going to start off with it maybe a little longer in the face. Oh, it didn't work. Exit strategy, raise it up a bit more. Going to start with layers a little longer. Do one layer, one section, see how it falls. Too heavy. Exit strategy, layer it more. You're going to break into the line. Exit strategy, going to use my thinning scissors. That didn't work so well. Strand tests. I'm going to cut with the scissors a little strand. I'm going to cut with a razor a little strand. Which one's working? That's heavy. This is light. Exit strategy. Now we go. So it's always looking at a mind that's saying, this is my plan. I'm going to work my plan, but I have to have a backup so that if this is not working, I can, in that section, course correct. I'm not saying do a whole haircut, then go, oh, well, that didn't work. No. I am on every section asking myself, does this work? Does this work? Does this work? I cut, I look, I play, I move the hair around. What I'm basically saying is it working? Is it working? Is it working? The hair is talking to me. It's telling me how it's falling. The hair is saying something. So as it says, bleh, or it says, ah, or it says, ooh, whatever it's saying, I'm going, oh, well, I didn't want that. I wanted that, or I wanted this. Because we're either magnifying hair, we're making hair larger than it is, or we're reducing hair. We're either expanding or contracting. We're opening, we're closing. We're lifting, we're stretching. I mean, that's what we do. We're in the business of emphasizing or disguising. I'm going to emphasize that she's got a short forehead. I'm going to disguise that she has a short forehead. So these are all the things that we do as we're designing, right?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yep.
So what's your big takeaway from today, Rosemary?
Well, I think that what my biggest takeaway was the fact that hearing the words that you're saying that makes it sound okay. I love what you said, is saying about being incomplete. Sometimes you need to be incomplete, but you need to know. And I think that was so powerful, because you don't need to know everything, people. What you need to know is just know how to get there and get started. So,
yeah. And you know what? Remember this, when Apple launches, think about how the first phone that Apple created and now the phone now. Yeah. Now, if they'd waited for it to be perfect, it goes out there and they're updating, and they're kind of annoying, aren't they? All these updates that they do. But they're updating because they're actually putting the product out to market. The market's now in the hands of people. They're testing the product, and then they update and they update. We have to practice on mannequin heads. We experiment on mannequin heads. We watch as many videos as we can. We study as much as we can in a structured way, and we test things out. And then when we feel comfortable with it, we then put it on a person. I don't want to use a human being as my guinea pig. I want to do all of my testing in a safe environment. But I have such a strong technical background that when I determine to do something, as I say, like, for example, I cut Rosemary's hair. Rosemary's hair expands. It expands. She's got the most magnificent head of hair. So when I take that first section and I cut her hair, I spend a lot of time thinking. And I've had clients say to me, gosh, I've never seen a hairdresser think as much as you do. I think before I pick up my tools. I plan before I pick up my tools. I would rather take 4 or 5 minutes planning. I don't take that long, but I would rather take more time planning than fixing. I would rather think, right, I'm going to cut it here, I'm going to do it there, it's going to be like this. And I like to verbalize when I've thought of the hairstyle, I like to verbalize, Rosemary, it's going to sit here on this side, here on this side. That's going to be really beautiful there. It's going to do this around your face. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to do this. So I am verbally choreographing and rehearsing what's going to happen. So now when I pick up my tools know, oh, we're going from here to here. Oh, we're going from here to here. I've already planned it. So now I pick up my first section, I start to cut and I go, is it working? And I take such a tiny section to evaluate, and I'm looking at its behavior. I go, that's interesting. That's interesting. I go, oh, that works. So now I compound it, and now I add to it, and now I add to it. So as it starts to move along, it's like, that's really working very well. Now I can start to build. So I don't just remove hair. And I don't just cut a generic shape and then do a second haircut afterwards to detail that. I cut one haircut. I like to go through one system, very well thought out, logical, simple. Dumb it down, Viv. Don't make it complicated. Don't be gimmicky. Gimmicks are just things for selling tools or whatever. Go way beyond gimmicks and do the right thing. So guys, if we've spoken to your heart today and we're speaking to you that, you really want to carry on learning, do check out this, which is our 7 reasons why you may not have built the dreams that you want in your life regarding your clientele. Check out the link below. And also, if you are interested in just a quick fix every week, join us for Viv Unplugged. And that information, you can just DM us and we'll send you a link. And then also the designer program. That is going to be pretty amazing. There's only 20 slots for the VIP section where I watch you every week on screen with 20 people. And there's only 20 slots. So if you're interested in that, just let us know and we will send you the information. And it's the designer program. And that's a deep dive into mastery. So I know that some of you don't have the time, or you don't know. I know that for some of you, you don't want to shape out the time for mastery. Because we can always make time if it's important enough. We always will make time. When it becomes important to take your game to that next level, to separate yourself from mainstream and be beyond mainstream, the designer program's for you. When you want to separate yourself from the average, if you get bored doing hair, same old, if you're overwhelmed, who is sitting in your chairs on an amazing map to get rid of the clutter, get rid of the confusion, because when you have too many choices, you make none. Rosemary, if I threw 10 little balls your way right now, do you think you'd catch any of them?
No, not one, maybe
but
one.
But if I threw one ball your way, would you catch it?
Yeah.
So focus. Get rid of the clutter, get rid of the nonsense. It's very powerful. So she's, will you be offering the designer program again? I'm enrolled in another class at this time. Carol, you can start the program in September, if that's possible. And it will be rolling through. You can start the designer program right now if you wanted to, but you're busy. But we start in September, but you can join it at any time because the lives that we do every week are recorded. So whenever you come into the program, you can join at that point. And it's a wonderful journey. So we hope we'll see you guys. So share what we're doing every Monday with our friends. I know we've gone over. We always go over on Facebook, don't we? We're supposed to be 20 minutes. And we just go over.
I think it's just because we just have such a great conversation, Viv. I mean, you and I can spend hours together and just shoot the breeze, as they say. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So Carol just sent us her email address, so we'll follow through. Thank you so much. So guys, have a wonderful day. Think about your point of difference. Think about the can'ts that you say versus the cans. Think about the power of what you say. Wayne Dyer was amazing when it came to points of difference. Sadhguru, an amazing guru that speaks about the intentionality. There are so many amazing people out there who are masters. I'm not a master. I do hair, but I'm just sharing what I've learned along my way. Thank you, Rachel, for sharing your information. And Stephen, when are we going to see you, you cutie tootie? Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a blessed week. Next Monday, I will be in California.
So what are we going to do? Maybe you can have a quick thing with the group. No, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe we'll do a little quickie from California, but I'll be in California, so we'll have to be creative about that. Viv's going back on the road.
Anyway,
I hope you enjoyed my garden.
Yes, you actually had somebody said Travis loves your garden.
Yeah. So guys, anytime you want to come in my garden, you come with your tools, and I'll put you to work. Because it's a project. So yeah, I have hairdressers who come here and it's just like, okay, like weed whack that, do this and do that. I weed whack and I broke 2 doors. Yeah, glass doors. I heard this sound going shh. I'm thinking, what's that strange sound? I'm looking to the sky and I'm thinking, I don't like weed whacking. And I weed whack and a stone hit my patio doors and it shattered all of the glass.
Oh my God. Well, you definitely have a lot of people loving your garden. You have Carol, you have Darlene and Stephen, and yeah. So maybe weed whacking you should leave to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So listen, guys, have a wonderful day. Take care. Lots of love to you all, and we'll see you on our next chat. Take care. Bye, Travis. You can come to my garden, sweetheart.
Bring your tools.
Your tools, yeah. Thank you so much, Rosemary. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.